And my apologies for not having this be a Forest Zones only video, but there were some things to finish up and I didn't think they tied in very well with the overall theme of finishing up Nashkel. So the first thing that we'll do is drop off Zahn. We're pretty much done with him. He's not the greatest character in the game. And we're going to go ahead and pick up Minsk, who is, for all intents and purposes, probably the most famous character in Baldur's Gate. Zahn, he says, although it's fruitless, he at least had fun, and he would be happy to come along with us again. He's kind of a downer, but he's also a little humorous.
With helms,
so we're gonna get Minsk.
Stand and deliver, that my hamster might have a better look at you.
Essentially, for backstory on him, he's a ranger that from a faraway land that took a few too many blows to the head and believes that he's in possession of a miniature giant space hamster. And he consults said hamster on all important decisions. And if you look at his portrait there at the bottom, he's holding a hamster. Now there's this house here. It's locked. You unlock it and go in. And there's a lady in there talking about how she can't find Joseph. Men disappearing down in, and then it's Joseph's wife. We found his ring on the floor in the mines, and we say, don't worry, here's your ring to remember him by, and you get 800 experience. And so that'll be it for us in Nashkel.
With helms,
and Minsk also has a mission. I just clicked through his conversation.
We follow the
pretty much
path,
everyone is familiar with Minsk, but he was escorting a witch around, and they got captured. Well, he was incapacitated, and she was captured. And there are a bunch of gnolls, which are like these dog-headed monsters that have taken possession of her, and so we're going to go and get her from them. However, for this particular playthrough, we're going to keep Nira, because what's the point of an Enhanced Edition playthrough if we only use one of the NPCs they've given us? And so I'm going to cheese the game a little bit there, and my apologies, but, you know, this is mainly to show the content and explore it a bit. So, not a strong role-playing experience in this Let's Play, but hey, what can you do?
With Helm's Blessing.
And just check all the spells, because we need to be well stocked up before we go on this adventure. Have a nice solid rest. Look at the screen a bit. Alright, now we're out of here.
With Helm's Blessing.
And we'll see how things go. One thing I have noticed is that character leveling is a little strange in this game. It's different than I remember it. So Minsk is really weak for relative to the rest of my party. And that's going to cause problems. Thanks, Rasad, for screwing things up. Alright, so we walk out and we're in the woods. This wooded area, like many of the wooded areas, or all of them really, have something going on in them. And so we'll run into all the somethings that are important. You'll also get random encounters also, as well as the random things. And the first one is Sendai, and she's this noble woman from elsewhere, and she threatens you in various ways and is in general someone that you don't want to deal with. And you can go ahead and fight her here if you want to. You don't have to. And I decided to, do it peaceably, because my intention is to stay in the woods as long as possible. And doing a bunch of fighting is going to cause problems. Goodbye, peasants. So here we go. I'm going to walk around a bit more, because it's a little disorienting for me when I enter these. Like, I haven't, speed run the game, so I don't know the exact locations of all the stuff. And we run into some
Glory of Helm!
We miss a lot of shots on those darts. But I think we'll be fine.
Go for the eyes,
And we
Boo.
get their
Go
treasure.
for the eyes.
Sometimes the reason I leave these segments in is because sometimes you'll get unique drops and you never really know. And then for these forest regions, it's hard to tell, you know, sometimes how someone got there. So in this spot here, there's another set of hidden items. One of it's pretty much the most powerful spell in the game, I mean to a degree, in Cloud Kill, and a spell scroll for Chromatic Orb, which is the alternative to Magic Missile, which isn't it's not a terrible spell, but I tend not to use it. We find this little boy, and he says, "Here, little doggie," and he's ever so sorry to bother, but he's lost his dog, and he gives us a chew toy, and he says that his dog will know us by the chew toy. So now we need to go track down this dog for this little boy, which will be exactly what we do. And it can sometimes be dangerous getting to the dog, so we'll see how it goes. This forest region, I mean, all the forest regions have some monsters that will spawn in them that may tear you up pretty badly. So you just gotta be mindful of that and be careful. What do we got here? A dire wolf. Oh, that's Ruffy, actually. Okay, so we just leave him alone, and he turns... Once he gets close enough to us, he turns green. So he's an ally. I'm not sure if you can exploit that and have him just follow you around forever. I assume it's just on this map, and he probably doesn't attack enemies. So... here we go, we're back at the boy, and you talk to him and he, "Ruffy, who's fuzzy Ruffy, who's a fuzzy little guy? Thank you just ever so much.
You funny looking.
Better take this little puppy home right away." And now he turns into a demon, and he says, "Time to go home, Ruffy. You'll like the 9 hells better than these cold climbs." In the original, he turned into an ogre magi, and he gives us a black opal, which is worth, at this party's reputation and charisma, about 150 gold. So, it's nothing to sneeze at, but it's nothing really too great either. And here we go. One more thing to finish up. As you can see, we haven't really covered much of this map yet, so a lot going on in the forest regions. Usually, I don't know about the rule of thumb, but it's usually like at least 3 or 4 unique-ish kind of things are happening in these forest regions for you to stumble on. Hey there, pal. Seems your little party's... His name's Zal, and he's the fastest dart thrower that has ever walked the Sword Coast. If I were you, I wouldn't want to test the patience of such a man. You can essentially tell him to get bent and kill them, fight them, or you can give them all your money. Are you some sort of moron? Hear that, Zal? So here we go. We're fighting the fastest dart thrower destroyed us. So, we're gonna reload and we're gonna fight this winter wolf now. Winter wolves are very dangerous. The reason I reloaded there is because without a Jauntus, Minsk's sort of the body blocker, and he's much too weak right now to do that. So basically, if a Jauntus goes down, we're hosed. So we're gonna play the buff a Jauntus like crazy game, and now we're gonna fight Zal this way.
Yeah.
And we're also gonna take him much more seriously and hit him with some spells. Make him fall asleep and hit him with a magic missile. There we go. Life is good. Except for Minsk dies. That's not as big a deal.
Eat flaming!
And now we're just fighting this guy.
My blade will cut you down to size.
Nobody's really doing too much to him. Still having trouble. We're gonna just end this now and use a magic missile. He's he's hurt. Now he's real hurt. Another thing I've noticed about this game is if you cast spells, it seems like the spellcasters walk to who they targeted, which seems like really bad behavior patterns. It may just be a script thing. And Ajanta sees a bunch of kobolds down here as we're trying to loot bodies. And Zal has braces of archery, which are very powerful.
With helms.
And for Kaivan, if you give him those, he's the best archer in the game. Unless you yourself are a character who's really good at archery. So we walk over to the left here to get the exit to the next forest zone, which is to the west, and will be in another video. And there's one last thing
with
to
helms
take care of. Oh, and there's a bear in the way, a godless, soulless killing machine. So we need to be careful about godless, soulless killing machines, especially because I think it's a cave bear. Yeah, cave bears are not to be taken lightly. They're one of the stronger varieties of godless, soulless killing machines. See, and there's Nira. I had her cast a spell, and she's walking
Give me strength.
at the cave bear. That's not behavior that I would generally encourage. And the cave bear goes down and gives us 650 experience.
We must always strive to be role models to the meek.
And keep walking, and you'll cross this little river here. It's a little hard to navigate if you're trying to just clear it like you were mowing a yard, clear the fog of war. So, and this is the easiest way across. And we're fighting a bunch of Zards, or Svarts. And they finally go down. Yep, there we go. So we get some gold, we get a crappy gem that we're going to give to Nira. See, Nira comes with a gem bag, which is an item from Baldur's Gate 2, and you just put your junk in it, any of your junk. And here we see 3 characters. Hi, I'm Larry, and this is my brother Daryl, and my other brother Daryl. We're real pleased to meet you. What would a Svarta kobold and a Tasselai be doing out here? Come quick, we need to give him an electronic autograph. And if you read it, it says, to Sinarboon, friends with love, Larry, Daryl, and Daryl. And we're going to go back to Nashkel here and resurrect Minsk because he needs to be here for this experience. So we'll just walk back, res him up, and the next video will be the other forest region to the west of the forest region that we were on just now. And then we're going to go to the Knoll Stronghold and rescue Dynair. We're going to skip one of the forest regions for right now, and it's the one due north of the Knoll Stronghold. So we'll get going here. I'll end the video essentially where we get to the next forest zone. Just looking through different party arrangements. I need to figure out a way to not put Minsk so close to the front lines. So here we get waylaid by enemies, and it's a cave bear again.
blade will cut you down to size.
So that's not good. Don't like that. It's beelining at people, and the screen is shaking. So I'm gonna pull my archer types back. Run away, archer types. It's on to Minsk. I need him to just fight it. And he's dead. So we just paid to have him resurrected. Rasad is still screwing me. Still screwing me, Rasad.